as every eye turns to face you, the silence screams. Imagine, for one terrifying moment, that every unspoken judgment, every silent thought you had ever made about a stranger is suddenly broadcasted aloud for this entire room to hear. Maybe it was the way they dressed, the way they spoke, or the shade of their skin. And it's not unusual. After all, aren't we always taught to run from what we don't understand, to flinch from what we don't know, to build walls where bridges should be? How many of you have ever left this continent? This country? How many of you have stood in a place where your language means nothing, where your face does not blend in with any crowd? But have any of you ever given thought to how these traveling experiences have changed you? Well, if you haven't, in the next few minutes, I am going to take you on a trip around the world and show you how traveling can completely change your perspective. My name is Amali. I'm 14 years old, and I've called Australia, the Bahamas, and now Monaco my home. I have set foot on all 7 continents. I have listened to the call of prayer outside the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. I have seen white lions stalking prey in the fields of Africa. And I have seen orcas slicing through the icy Antarctic waters. But what has changed me most wasn't what I've seen. It was who I've met. At times, I was scared. I was scared to walk among crowds when nobody spoke my language. I was scared to eat strange foods, sleep in strange beds, walk among crowds where nobody looked like me. An interaction that will forever stick with me was one sun-washed afternoon at the end of the world. We landed in Port Williams on a Sunday. The other 3 restaurants in the place were closed. That's when this man, with a fabulous mustache, approaches my dad and takes him into this random beat-up van. Now, I do admit there was a short moment of panic among my poor grandmother, because to her this bore strong resemblance to some sort of kidnapping. But he welcomed us into this half-finished restaurant hidden in a convenience store roof. He smiles like he's known us for years. There were no menus, no prices, just the sound of laughter echoing off the wood, the smell of tomatoes sizzling in a pan, his stories of his wife and someday finishing the place for real. He had so little, and yet he gave us everything. His food, his stories, his joy. That is when you see something incredible begin to happen. You find yourself in a foreign place with someone who kneels down to completely different deities, someone with totally different beliefs, and yet they are the one to offer you a seat at that table. They are the ones to treat you with such kindness. This is what travel does. Why it is such a privilege we have to explore different places. Because it is not just a stamp in your passport. It is the world whispering to take a closer look. You find that people are not their passports, that love looks the same in every language, that culture is not strange, that religion is not something to fear, that race is not a category to box people in. People are living, breathing stories. How many stories have you missed because you were too busy standing behind your walls? Today, I stand here, and I implore every single one of you to be brave. If you feel like the world is too full of them and not enough us, go. Be a foreigner. The best part? You don't have to cross a border. You just have to get over your judgments, your fears, even though it's very hard sometimes. The more you step into someone else's world, the less you'll want to judge them, the less you'll be afraid. Because the more of the world you see, the more human you become.